Welcome to round 4 of the 2006 to 2007 season of the Sim Touring Car Cup, the world's premier broadcasted Sim Touring Car Championship. This round we're at Fern Bay Club. This is the shortest tarmac track of the season and is guaranteed to provide lots of action. Those of you watching this video on a streaming website such as Google Video and YouTube may prefer to download a permanent copy of the video from our website www.simtouringcarcup.com. Round 3, Johnny Picard finished in 3rd position, but he was disqualified due to a technical infringements committed during the heats, and in the end scored no points for his race. The dominant car on today's track is the front-wheel drive FXO, with 4-wheel drive RB4s being our midfielder class. The XRTs scored the biggest amount of bonus points as they are at backmarker class today. Let's take a look around the track now as we ride with Elaine Lang in his XRT. The start-finish straight provides the best overtaking opportunities as we head down to the first turn, called Shingles. This hairpin provides the biggest braking zone on the track. There's then a short straight which leads us into the Maginot chicane. This chicane has been reinforced especially for this race to prevent tyres from bouncing onto the circuit. We then approach the cliff face corner, which provides one of the hardest challenges on the track as it's a curved braking zone. Steering left and decelerating, you then have to throw the car hard right, and don't take too much curb as it's so steep there you could be thrown over. The Bernardo's corner complex is a right-left double apex right. This is a very difficult corner to exit correctly, but drivers who get it right line themselves up for an overtaking opportunity as they go back round the track into the first turn.
Guten Abend, Patrick. You had a very close finish in the last race with Tommy Hayula. How was the battle for you?
It worked pretty well. Hayula's a great driver and I had great trust in him that he didn't do anything stupid. So I could just try my best to defend against him, and he raced very cleanly.
Looking forward to today's race, do you think he'll be at the front at all?
I really don't know. I'm about as quick as Horvath is, but I don't know about the other XRT drivers. The FXOs and RB4s are both too fast, but it is difficult track to pass anyone.
Okay, now the qualifying heats are very short here. Do you think that the XRTs will be quite near the front, and even if you're not one of them yourself?
I think that the XRT has a good chance, but the starting straight isn't too long and it all is very narrow. So it's a bit of a gamble. Sometimes you may have luck and you may just have bad luck and end up with a bad position. That's difficult to say.
Okay, thank you very much, Patrick.
No problem.
Victor Sabo qualifies XRT on pole. He's a relative newcomer to the series. He joined us last round and didn't actually qualify after an incident in the heats. Hannu Pinola qualifies in 2nd place. He went half a second under the world record time in practice for the event today. Chris Redmond's in 3rd. He's looking for his 3rd STCC victory of the season. If he pulls it off today, it'll be the first time a driver's won a back-to-back victory. In 4th position is Johnny Picard, and he's really on fire today. All the way through practice he was storming it and putting in fastest laps. 5th place is Elaine Lang. He joined us last round and is one of the relative newcomers to the series, and he's done very well to get the XRT up to 5th, and Mike Bauer right behind him on 6th as well, so those two are on form. Tom Lorenz, he was absolutely flying in practice, another very, very quick driver. In 8th place, we've got Stuart Baker. Now he's had a terrible run of luck in the STCC, so he's looking for a change of luck today. Jack Green, championship leader, all the way down in 9th position. So he is struggling, and he says he's had a lack of practice for this round. Chris Ramish in 10th is our only driver from the Americas today, as Dustin Dawes didn't qualify. Bjorn Behrens in 11th in the RB4, and in 12th position we have Vigli from Hungary. He's teammate of Attila Hepp, and is looking quite good today. He's out-qualified Tommy Hayula, who's all the way down in 13th, so another poor qualifying for Tommy. And in 14th we have Rob Sherborne, who missed the last round, but he's been at every other round this season. And in 15th place we have Virmaki of the Murok team, and again, the Muroc team very quick in practice, but in qualifying it doesn't quite seem to have gone right for them. Hairpin 16th and 17th, Patrick Golaski, better known as the obstacle to other STCC drivers. He's very quick, but he's very good at holding back the faster cars. If he can get a good start, he'll be on form today. 18th is new driver Michael Kirk, and in last position, championship number 2, David Horvath, all the way down at the back of the grid, so he's got his work cut out for him today. A number of drivers didn't qualify to today's race. This is what happened to John Brennan in the heats earlier. After that, he never really recovered. Sam Hopkinson had a controversial accident with new driver Michael Kirk. Michael Kirk stayed on the throttle and pushed Sam Hopkinson around. Alain Smithy didn't qualify after an incident at the start of Heat 2. He left his car so badly damaged he never recovered. Dustin Dawes fell prey to the same accident. So this is it then, round 4 of the championship. It's make or break for Green and Horvath, and it's the opportunity of the lifetime for Pinola and Redmond to get ahead in the championship. One red light's on, and the second, wait for it,
go! Great start from the first 2.
Not so great for Redmond though, he's bogged the engine down, it's made a very bad start. Viamaki is pulled right up alongside Sabo, and Arendz all the way from 7th place on the grid, he's gone into 3rd. Tommy Arendz has made an absolutely flying start, and right at the back Viamaki's been pushed from behind by somebody. I didn't see who that was, but Viamaki's gone off the track. He has rejoined, but he's of course now in last position, and the leaders are stretching away already. Sabo and Viamaki, sorry, that's Pinola in 2nd. They are pulling away from the pack with Tommy Arendz in 3rd place. Lang has moved to 4th from the start, Picard has dropped 1 down to 5th, and Redmond, a very poor start from him, he's all the way down in 6th position already. Bauer is in 7th, and then it's Ramish in 8th, and Bjorn Behrens in 9th, and Baker in 10th. So as the field comes through, the 2 leaders are a long way in front already, and Sabo is moving over the defensive line as Pinola tries to come around and overtake, but Sabo's got it covered. Pinola is held back into 2nd position still. Both of them have made absolute flying starts on cold tyres. I think Arendz in 3rd position, being a little more tentative at the start, and Picard has actually dropped back as well, which I wasn't expecting, and surely I would have thought the FXOs at this one, after the initial start, would have been right on the... That's Hep off! Hep, he's put a couple of wheels on the grass there under braking, and he flew off the track. I guess he just couldn't slow the car up enough.
Really is quite a fantastic couple of laps for the first two drivers there, and the following 2 are now starting to respond. Picard in the background there is just starting to put Arendz under pressure.
He is, isn't he? He's picked up the pace a little bit after what was a very slow first lap for him. But he is now coming back up to Arendz, and I should think he's going to get him to... Is this the move here, or is that's just a deceptive camera angle, isn't it? I thought so. Yeah, I thought Johnny was going to make the move, but he is now very close to Tommy as they come up to the cliff face corner, turn 3. And
Redmond's just put a rear wheel on the grass.
Oh my word! There's loads of them off. Let me see. We've got Green went off, Bauer went off, Golaski's just gone flying across grass, taking out hay bale, and Ramish, the American driver, all 4 of them there off the grass. I didn't really quite see what happened there. I think it was just a lot of cars all ended up on the same place of tarmac at the same point in time.
Yeah, I was watching Redmond. I was watching Chris Redmond exit the chicane on the grass and didn't have a chance to see. Oh, here we are. This is what happened.
Yeah, Redmond.
A couple of slow people, and it was just falling to.
I mean, it's all up the back of Lang, isn't it? But I don't think Lang particularly did anything wrong there. I mean, he didn't look off the pace at all.
No, I think he just had a poorer exit off the first corner and backed everyone up. And when you back everyone up in that chicane, that happens.
I think there's just too many cars in too little bit of tarmac, really. The leaders now pulled, and Picard's got ahead of Arendz. I didn't see that.
No, we didn't see that on the track. And Redmond's starting to respond as well. He seems to be closing up a little bit.
The 2 leaders, though, I think they've... Well, let's see if Picard starts trying to close in on them now, because they were running away with it. Arendz made a great start, but then he just seems to be a little bit off the pace as we ride on board now with Johnny Picard, closing down Pinola ahead in 2nd position. Who did I say it was?
You didn't. I just broke up, so I didn't think you said anything.
Sorry, Tristan. So there's the top 10 on screen now.
And so Baker down in 6th position. He's slipping back from Redmond there, looking at the time. So the top FXOs at the moment really nowhere in sight compared to the last round, and of course round 1. David Horvath, championship leader, he's stopped. Sorry, championship number 2, isn't he? He's
can't see where he is either.
but it looks like the outside, probably the first turn to me. Couldn't really see what it was. It didn't look like an accident. There's no damage on the car. He's just pulled off. He might have I guess a technical problem of some sort. And this is Harula battling Lang for 7th. Lang is actually the 2nd positioned XRT in the race, so he's on for a good haul of bonus points. But he's also in the top 10, so he's going to get championship points as well. And Harula's looking to take them away from him. Harula qualified all the way down, where was it, 13th position?
That was a good bit of defending there. Good bit of defending. He kept the outside line and.
So Lang actually is doing remarkably well when you put it into context of his class, the XRT class. Quite how Sabo so far, and that's Beagley off. Beagley's gone off at the 3rd turn at Cliff Face, and that's cost him quite a few positions there. He's in the WRC team, both Hungarian drivers. So we're back now with Harula all over the back of Alain Lang from Luxembourg. Harula's gone for the move up the inside, coming through the first turn. Harula. Oh, he's lost the momentum, hasn't he? As he's come out of that corner, he didn't quite keep the momentum after. I think he must have tapped Alain Lang as they went into the corner. But he's got the run on him now as they come down into the 3rd corner. Hayula's going to move around the outside. He's gone over the grass.
He's left the door. He's already passed him before they even got to the braking zone. And Green's gone through as well.
He is Lang was far too cautious there, wasn't he? And because really he shouldn't have let Green through as well after Hayula had forced his way past. So that's a bit of an unfortunate loss there for Alain.
Well, he'll be kicking himself, and it looks as though he might even be losing another place to.
Berenz.
Who is it following?
That's Berenz, the German driver from the POD team in the RB4. And Green's having a look at Hayula, and they've contacted going into the 1st turn. Hayula's had to stick his back out, and I think Green actually eased off there to let him keep the place, because obviously if he'd passed him unfairly, he'd have been in for it in the stewards' meeting later. So Green doing the sporting thing there, I think. And this is 4th position. Tommy Lorenz is currently in 4th. Redmond has now closed him down, and he's looking good for a pass soon, I should imagine, because he's just about in the slipstream there, isn't he? I don't think he's going to get him this lap, or certainly not this corner, but perhaps as far as turn 3 or within a lap or so. I think Redmond's going to be in a position to pass Tommy Lorenz. He's having a look now, actually, as they come out of the 1st turn.
This could be
he's going to go around the outside of the chicane. Oh, he's not going to try it there, is he? Oh, trying to overtake through the Maginot chicane is a recipe for a bent car. It really is.
But even after he backed off into the chicane, he's still got a good exit, and I thought he was going to have a little poke up the inside then, but he thought better of it.
And as you can see on screen there, that caption is showing the order of the XRTs in the race, which just goes to show just how fast Sabo is. All the other XRTs, the 2nd highest placed XRT is in 9th position, so Sabo, for his class, is absolutely flying, and he's on target then. That would be 39 championship points if he finishes where he is today. As Redmond's still not got past Lorenz then, as in fact I'd say Lorenz has pretty much got him under control now. One of the things I think is going to be interesting in this race, Tristan, is tyres, because I was speaking to the drivers before the race, and the RB4 drivers in particular, a lot of them were saying they were actually looking at doing a pit stop this round. If they didn't get a safety car late on, they felt that the tyres just weren't going to last for them. And some of the FXO drivers, a few of them were saying, well, the tyres can run very hot here, but it might be necessary to stop. So that might be interesting to see unfold, as it looks like Redmond's going to have a little run on Lorenz there. He's coming around the outside, and we've cut to the battle for 2nd place. This is Picard all over the back of Pinola now. So Picard, he's definitely got the run on Pinola here. He's a little bit too far back, though, I think, for the run into the cliff face corner. And this, of course, is giving Sabo the opportunity to extend his lead.
It's very interesting what you say about tyres. We've had a couple of on-board shots, mainly in FXOs so far, and the amount of tyre squeal really does seem to be punishing the FXOs more than I would have thought the RB4. So it's interesting you say the RB4s are interested in making a pit stop later in the race or considering it.
Certainly, I spoke to 3 or 4 RB4 drivers, and all of them were the ones I spoke to were saying, yeah, tyre wear is an issue. Although I have to say, the Murok guys were confident that tyres wouldn't be a problem for them, and of course all 3 Murok drivers are in RB4s. And we're watching here a replay of Chris Redman. He is making looks like he's making a pass on Lorenz around the outside of turn 1, and he's doing the switchback, is he? Yeah, he cuts back, classic overtaking manoeuvre, and you can now see Lorenz appearing in Redman's mirrors. So Redman is now up to 4th position.
Yeah, very clean move there. Lorenz is probably wishing he had thought about the switchback manoeuvre and braked a few metres earlier, but
yeah,
that's racing.
Indeed, and Chris Redman has that manoeuvre down pat. I think I was watching him in practice, he was doing it to just about everybody.
I just got a glimpse there of the gap between Chris Redman and Lorenz, and it's really starting to open out already, and he's only been past him perhaps a lap.
He is an incredibly quick driver over the course of a race. Redman doesn't necessarily ever set the fastest lap times, but over the course of a feature-length race, he is incredibly consistent. Picard has dropped back from Pinola now, and I wonder if he's trying to save his tyres or if his tyres are starting to overheat. I'm trying to watch him go through the corners, and his apex speeds aren't looking as good as I thought they would in relation to Pinola, because of course Picard is in the FXO. He should be able to carry a higher apex speed than Pinola, and to me it doesn't look like he is at all. He's not monstering Pinola on the corners.
Well, this is agreeing with what I thought about the FXO being harder on his tyres than the RB4, and that will translate into lower apex speeds and give the RB4 and indeed all the Murok drivers a big advantage during the race, I would have thought.
There's the XRT order on screen again. You can see Soa absolutely flying 17 seconds ahead of the next XRT already. That's about half a lap. We've only got 4 XRTs in this race, of course, so Horvath will get some points, some class points. He'll be classified as the 5th XRT. The XRT is our backmarker class today. So let's have a look through the order. We've got Sabo, Pinola, Picard, Redman, Lorenz, Baker, Hayula in 7th, Green all the way down in 8th, championship leader, Lang in 9th, Berenz, Galaski in 11th, Vermaki 12th, Bauer, Ramish, Hebb and Sherborne in 16th. Viegli and Kirk 17th and 18th, they are both lapped. David Horvath, of course, retired, so he'll be classified in 19th place.
I thought I saw someone quite a few laps ago now, actually, being very slow in the pit lane exit. I don't think it was Horvath.
I think I recall the clip. That was Viegli, and that was after the incident we saw at the cliff face, I think.
Ah, okay.
He was sort of in the background, the camera was following the leaders. This is Michael Kirk getting it very sideways as he tries to take Sherborne's... Viegli is battling with, isn't it, to 17th place. There's a little bit all over the place there. He got that completely wrong, didn't he?
He certainly did. He was lucky not to take Sherborne out there.
Fly. He's pulled out a huge gap over Lorenz already. He is absolutely on it and closing down Johnny Picard in 3rd place. And look how far back Jack Green is as well. That's surprising. The championship leader in the MG powered car there. That's the black car with the green flashes on it. He is a long way back. As we look now at the battle for 9th position, this is the midfield battle with Lang, Berenz, Galaski and Vermaki. Berenz in 10th place there. Oh, excuse me, looking at Vermaki, and the camera focuses on him. Berenz is part of the German POD team. They're the organisers of the OWRL League, which is the Open Wheel Racing League, so I'm not sure what his preferred choice of car is, but most of those guys, of course, have a reputation for single-seater racing. And of course, STCC is all about touring cars.
He's doing a remarkable job of putting some pressure on Lang, despite being in an RB4, which is as different from a single-seater as you could possibly get.
It's a big, heavy car, isn't it, with 4-wheel drive. It's quite a long way from your Formula Renaults and Formula V8. So this
looks about even Stevens, to be honest.
This
looks about even Stevens. They open up a little gap, and then they close up, and then it opens up, and I can't actually see a pass happening there in the next few laps, to be quite honest.
No, it is quite hard to pass in both the XRT and the RB4. Neither of them are particularly suited to getting the run out of this last corner there, which we've named. I've forgotten. Bernardo's.
you get the run out of Bernardo's down the straight. This is really the only passing opportunity on the track, this first turn, called Shingles. And if you don't get it right there, you can't really carry the battle on because the Maginot chicane sorts the mess out. And then you kind of get half a chance down here into the third corner, which Baker's looking for now up the inside of Arenz. Is he going to make them? No, he's decided not to try it this lap. But Baker certainly, if you're going to do an overtake this afternoon, the car to be in is definitely the FXO, which Baker is driving. Arenz driving the much heavier RB4. Now, Arenz is a very quick driver. He's been very impressive in the races he's done this season. But I just saw somebody going off the track there. That's Michael Kirk. So off the track. Now, I don't know, did he pull over? Did he pull right off the track to let the leader through, or did he just go off?
It looked to me like he was a bit too fast to be
a question, doesn't
gesture.
It? He's just
so
gone off again.
No, indeed.
He's got a problem on his car there. Maybe his tyre pressures are too low or something.
Well, I think he might have a few more problems on his car now. He's hit the wall a couple of times.
Now this is third position.
Redman has already caught Pickard. I'm just amazed by Redman's pace.
And I'm quite well. I think the answer there was in Pickard going off the grass there. I think his front tyres have overheated. He's understeering terribly through that section, and Redman is now all over the back of him. In fact, I think he's going to go for it now. This is third position. Redman is going to take the line into the first corner, and there's no defence from that. Absolutely beautiful passing manoeuvre. Pickard absolutely powerless. And that's Viegli just rejoining the track there from the small off. Yeah, Picard's got problems. Picard's definitely got problems with his tyres.
Huge problems now, in fact.
He's dropped right back. His front tyres must be absolutely boiling. As Viegli rejoins again. And I think Picard is struggling. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the pits in the next few laps.
Having said that, the car balance doesn't look particularly understeery, so I think he might have boiled all four tyres, and he's struggling with neutral balance, but just no grip.
I'd be very surprised. I mean, the FXO doesn't really put any pressure on the rear tyres. As we're looking at two cars here side by side, this is Arenz and Baker battling it out for fifth position. So Arenz is very much on the move backwards in the field today as Baker tries to go around the outside of Arenz to take the position. They're going to head up into the chicane. If he's not close enough, he's going to have to tuck back in. And if he can get the momentum coming out of the corner, which he's trying to do there, is trying to get more speed through the corner so he can make a run down here into the third turn. And as they come up to the breaking point, Baker, I don't think it's close enough. This is, we're getting a replay here of Ray Mish passing his teammate Vimaki. In fact, Vimaki's gone off onto the grass. I don't know if that's letting him through or if he just ran wide. So rejoining the battle now. Now the battle between Arenz and Baker, they've slowed each other up, and that's allowed Hayula to gain on them. And Hayula's now having a run at Baker down the main straight. Hayula's going to go for the outside manoeuvre. Has he got the drag? It looks to me like he's going to get the slight benefit there from Arenz slipstream. And Hayula going for the move around the outside of Baker. He's already got his car pretty much directly in front. That's Viegli off the track again.
But he didn't hit the apex. He didn't get the apex. And he's left the door wide open.
But threw in the chicane, and that's position to Hayula again. Set a match there.
Yeah, good recovery there. I thought he thought he'd failed in the pass, but he kept his foot in and kept it around the inside into the chicane, and he's made the pass stick.
Sherborne getting it all wrong through Bernardo's scenery flying. As the leaders come through, he's already a lap down. He's now going to be a lap down, isn't he? And that's Baker going very wide on the last corner there, so he's now lost touch, by the looks of it to me, with the battle in front. So his opportunity to pass Tommy Arenz has slipped away from him over the last couple of laps, and now it's Hayula all over the back of Tommy. And as we look at there's the caption on screen here to give you an idea just how far Sabo is ahead. He's only 3 seconds ahead of Pinola and 5 seconds ahead of Redman, but you look through the rest of the field there, they are absolutely flying quite
29 seconds ahead of the other XRT, which is nearly a second a lap.
It's almost a whole lap in front, isn't it? That's absolutely incredible driving. I'm so impressed by that guy. He is so quick in that car. I'd hate to think what he'd be doing in an FXO right now. He'd probably lapped half the field.
It looks as though Tommy Arenz hasn't quite got the pace to respond to the two behind him, and I was actually expecting Baker to catch up because of that, but Hayula is having a look. I don't think he's got the pace down the straight.
He's going to switch back him, isn't he? Has Arenz learned from the Redman manoeuvre? Yes, he has. He keeps the car neatly on the inside, and Hayula's got nowhere to go from there. There's no coming back from Maginot. He's learned from losing out to Chris, hasn't he? So as they come now down to the cliff face, is Hyula going to have another look as we wait for them to come into shot now?
But if you go around the outside of this corner, it puts you all wrong for the braking zone, so it's extremely hard to make a last stick here.
Ren's being so defensive. He's using all his moves up now. Oh, but he's gone wide, and he's contacted Hyula. Hyula's off onto the grass, and Baker's off as well, so he's failed to capitalise on the incident in front of him, and it all seemed to have rejoined back where they were.
Even Stevens. And in the back, I think that was Jack Green just brushing the wall on the exit of the last corner. I don't think it was too hard to do any serious damage.
Looks like Hyula's got it very, very sideways there. I think he's ended up with dirt on his tyres. So I don't suppose he's going to be able to attack back in the next lap or so while his tyres clean up again.
It might give Baker a bit of an advantage now.
That's Bjorn Berens on his roof. We're going to have the safety car for that. Yeah, there we are. Safety car deployed. Lap 26. Well, I mean, that's a very dangerous position. That's the third corner. So presumably he's clipped the curb on the inside. But that's going to have destroyed the leaders who had got quite spaced out at the front. That's going to regroup the whole pack up. And you can see how far back Picard's joined. Even though the leaders there are under safety car pace, Picard is still a long time coming into shot. This is the incident. This is Bjorn Berens.
And he clipped the inside curb and got it up on two wheels. Didn't manage to recover it, and over he went.
Too much curb on the inside, and that's it. It's race over. There's not what you can do to recover from that. Short of turning your car over again with the.
How much has the safety car helped Chris Redman? What was the gap between him and?
It was just a few seconds. What I'm actually thinking, the real beneficiary of this is Picard, because Picard was falling away, but now of course he's got an opportunity to cool his tyres off. And of course the other RB4 drivers as well, the guys who were thinking about having to pit stop at around about this time, they're giving their tyres a break.
Well, that's an interesting thought, because normally during safety car periods, of course, you try and keep your tyres warm, but in this race it's the exact opposite, and everybody's going to be tootling around in top gear with the least possible lock on and try and cool them down.
Absolutely, because I mean the nature of this track is you're constantly turning, and you're pretty much turning right the whole time as well. You get a few sort of quick hard lefts, but most of the track is right-handed, so it's the front left that takes all the pounding, and that's why the FXOs are struggling so much, because they're front-wheel drives. So they're getting the heat build-up from both the drive wheels and, of course, the front left from all the weight of the car going around the corners. And the RB4s, I think, are just struggling because they're so heavy and they're constantly turning here.
But having said that, over one lap,
they're unleashed.
On the grid, it wasn't dominated by FXOs, so I think there is actually a car disadvantage here. Admittedly, Szabo overdrove the XRT massively, but that's still quite an impressive performance.
You have to bear in mind, though, that the grid is calculated from our heat system. They actually do a number of heat races before the feature race. And what happens is, on the first round, they race just their own class. So all the XRTs race together, all the RB4s race together. And then in the second round, they line up on the grid in their fastest lap order, but with the back marker class placed at the front. So all the XRTs start at the front of round 2, then all the RB4s, then the FXOs. And that's how Szabo was able to keep to get pole position, was by holding on to the lead from that Heat 2 race.
The safety car will be in this lap, and we'll be back to green flag racing.
So what Szabo is going to be looking to do here is to get the run out of the corner, having first got Pinola onto the brakes, and that's the car you see in fourth place there. That's Michael Kirk. He is lapped, and Sherborne, the sixth car there, and a little bit of an incident there. That's Beagley. I think Szabo was pressing the field there, and Beagley caught himself short on the brake.
Well, this could work to their advantage, because now they can just go full throttle into the start, and as long as they don't pass before the start-finish line, they might be able to make up some extra places here.
Absolutely, getting the start right here is all about getting the momentum, and it's not necessarily a good thing to be sitting on the bumper of the car in front. As we come down into the first corner, Redman's already making a manoeuvre on Pinola.
And in the background, Picard's trying to lap himself from Kirk and gets pushed onto the grass.
Oh my word! What on earth happened there? Picard off into the sand trap, and of course with the field so close together, that's going to put Picard right out of the order. Apart from the cars that are lapped, he'll be last.
Just in that
whoa!
clip we also...
Alain Lang is
a massive accident.
He's done a barrel roll. It's coming through, and it looked like there was debris everywhere. I think some of the cars ahead of him had hit some of the scenery, and Alain Lang has bounced off of that and ended up doing a barrel roll. As we come round to complete the first lap of green flag racing, Sabo's in the lead. Redman has moved up to second. This is Picard, so he's trying to lap Michael Kirk. He's gone for the move around the outside. Kirk's just driven him off.
Yeah, that's very inattentive driving by Kirk at the restart. He should have been totally aware that there were some fast cars behind him.
Here's Lang's accident, and yeah, he's bounced off some tyres which were not loose by the cars ahead. And that's a shame actually, because Lang was second of all the XRTs, so he was on for a huge haul of bonus points today. And of course now he's going to be pretty much last of all the XRTs, apart from Paul, that of course retired. And in amongst all of that, Redman has ended up in second place as Lang is pit stopped for repairs.
Pinola's
so
not
Redman
giving up
is now in
Chris
second
Redman.
place, and he'll be trying to haul down Sabo. He's not, but I don't actually see Pinola passing. It's so hard to pass with an RB4 here because you just can't get the run out of the last corner. The RB4s are holding on to defend their position rather than making the moves.
And Chris Redman does seem to have an awful lot of pace at this stage, so I think even a very healthy RB4 wouldn't be able to beat him at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And with everyone now on cooler tyres, I don't see Redman being under threat from behind. I do see Sabo having to fight to retain that lead though as we come into the closing laps. Sabo does have, looks like 1.5 seconds over Redman at the moment, so Sabo obviously got the drop on the start. We're getting a replay here of Michael Kirk going off the road again.
Yeah, this must have been on the first, the green flag lap after the safety car.
It looked to me after he went off the road. Bearing in mind the guy's under blue flag, he's had a number of incidents letting the field through. Kind of wonder what the guy's thinking.
I've got to wonder if the guy's thinking, and I suspect the stewards after the race will be having a bit of a look at some of the camera angles and footage that we've got of his driving, and I don't think they'll be
going to be very pleased. Oh my word! Rob Sherborne has just jumped a building.
An absolutely massive accident.
What happened there? Chatting to you, I didn't see a building up, but as he's hit the chicane, and here it is, he's obviously just passed Michael Kirk.
He clipped the tyres on the inside on the left, the first part of the chicane, and then knocked him straight on into the tyre barrier on the right, and that just launched him into the air. It was an absolutely massive accident. It completely outdid the one that we saw a couple of laps ago.
It's a bit unfortunate actually, because I mean in the STCC we have lots of reinforcement on that chicane to catch the tyres and prevent them from entering into the track, and also to make sure the drivers don't cut the course. And that chicane is heavily reinforced, hence the name Maginot Chicane, named after the famous French line of fortresses. And of course he's gone straight into that wall. You're just not meant to hit it at that angle, because he's been deflected by clipping the tyre on the way in.
Redman now has closed the gap up to Sabo.
He has indeed. In fact, we're looking for a bit of a showdown as we come into the last few laps here. Redman is all over the back of him. Sabo's going to have to fight to defend this now. Redman is right on Sabo's tail as we come through the Maginot Chicane. Looks to me like he's going to have a run into the next corner. Is he close enough? No, he's not. He's going to have to hold his place for now and try to finish off closing that gap as we complete the lap. So
Sabo's just got to concentrate on being smooth, not making any mistakes when he's got a little bit of a gap. When he hasn't got a bit of a gap, he's got to make that XRT wider than any XRT you've ever seen before, because Chris Redman really is on fire today. Onto the start-finish straight.
He's in the slipstream. Sabo taking the defensive line already. Look, Sabo's already decided he is going round the inside line as we start the last lap. Redman all over the back of Sabo. He's going to go for the move around the outside. Will he switch back him? He's overtaken everyone with switch back today. Yes, he does. He does it yet again, and he is through. Chris Redman has taken the lead on the last lap. Victor Sabo demoted to second position. He's been there the whole race, led from the start, had his lead destroyed by the safety car. We're watching a replay of Green getting it wrong as he came onto the last lap. He's put the car into reverse, swung it round, and almost takes out a Murat car as he rejoins the track. And this is Pinola having a look at Sabo for second position. Pinola diving up the inside. Sabo squeezes him right onto the grass and has kept the position as they come through to complete the race then. Redman is going to win his third STCC victory, his second in a row. Sabo, brilliant performance in his first ever STCC feature race, led the whole race. Unfortunately for him, all went wrong in the last lap. Pinola in third place, a solid drive from him. So fantastic finish there for Chris Redman, and I have to say for me, driver of the race is Victor Sabo.
Well, Victor Sabo was very good race, very controlled. Let down a little bit in that last lap, but another accident there. This is Michael Kirk, yes, but I still have to say that Chris Redman was the driver of the day, because he didn't start right at the front. He made a poor start and then just kept his head and recovered it. Came up from quite a big deficit actually. Safety car admittedly helped, but I think Chris Redman did the ultimate job today.
I think I'll have to agree to disagree with you there. Pinola was solid as well in third position. I mean, he didn't really put a foot wrong, although he never looked really likely to overtake Sabo. I mean, you can sort of forgive him for getting overtaken by Chris Redman. I mean, that kind of happens to everyone. Especially against Chris, he is so good in race conditions. As the field stream in to complete the Parc Fermé lap, we'll give you the provisional results as soon as they come up, of course, on screen. What about Jack Green, championship leader? He was nowhere today.
I don't know what his final finishing position was.
Something around 7/8, I think.
Yeah.
It's around that position, yeah.
It'd be interesting to hear before the next round whether or not he had some sort of problem or a setup issue.
Well, I think it was just lack of practice for Green, because he didn't. He said he had limited track time this round, and it clearly showed. I mean, he was nowhere all day. Horvath, second in the championship, retired right near the beginning. We don't know what happened to him or why he went. Some kind of technical problem, it looks like. But I mean, he started last, so the big guys in the championships all falling to the wayside, and by my calculation, that's going to put Chris Redman in the lead of the championship now. Sabo, in his first feature race, is going to land right in the hunt. He's another round like that, and he'll be leading, I should think. So solid drive from him. Hayula, again, fantastic come through the field from further down. Because he did that last round, he started right at the back. I think he was actually the last car last round, and ended up 5th place. And again here, right from near the back, he's ended up 4th. I feel sorry. Picard and Lang, I just feel so sorry for, because they both drove well. They're both deserving of good finishes. Particularly Alain Lang, I felt he was on the defensive the whole race, and for that to happen to him.
Well, looking back, I mean, Picard is probably the unluckiest driver in the series so far.
I think so. I mean, he retired round 2 from no fuel. He was disqualified from round 3, of course, due to a technicality in the heats. And now, of course, today, again, he's looking for a promising finish, and it's all come wrong for him, and not his fault at all.
No, not this time, no.
No, squarely on the shoulders of Michael Kirk, that one, who, of course, let's not forget, Sam Hopkinson was raging after the heat too, because he felt that Kirk had cost him qualification to the race by intentionally removing him from the track. That, of course, is Sam's perspective. Michael will have another perspective, and the stewards will decide who's right and wrong on that one.
Well, there's a bit of a gap now before the next round, so maybe we can, in the intervening weeks over Christmas, we can catch up with some of the drivers and get their opinion on the first few rounds, and see how it's all panning out in the championship, perhaps.
Indeed. We'll see you at the next round, which will be Aston Cadet, and that will be airing at the end of January. See you there. Ta-ra for now.
Happy Christmas.